Hello, I'm JSimLady, and this is a Sims 4 speed build. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Okay, first of all, before we get into the video, would you prefer me to introduce myself as Jen, or do you like me introducing myself as JSimLady? It's up to you, and I will probably at some point kind of explain how I got to the name of JSimLady if you are interested. Maybe I'll put that on my more JSimLady channel. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, um, back to the build. So in this video, I'm doing the footprint, like the outside structure of the build, and then kind of figuring out the floor plan for the apartments and decorating the whole outside, doing the roof, doing the walkways, the balconies, except for furniture for each of the individual apartments on their own little balcony area. Like the main structure of it, and then the floor plan for the apartments is what this video is. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't get into the decorating of each of the apartments in this video. This is just for, like, I don't know what to call it. It's gonna be at least a 3-part series. I don't know if I'm gonna decorate each apartment in their own video or if I'm going to do 2 apartments per video. I haven't really decided yet because I've not really decorated the actual apartments yet. At the time of recording this voiceover, I just started decorating the first apartment. So we'll see how the footage goes, how long it takes me. I don't know why, but it seems to take me so much longer than everybody else to do these things. It's a little frustrating, honestly, but I also didn't want to include all of it in one video. I did a pretty good job, I think, of making that entire Glimmerbrook downtown area in one video and keeping it relatively short. But I did cut out a lot, and I didn't heavily decorate it. It was what the library and the mayor's office were the most heavily decorated areas of that lot. The rest were very simple, kind of rundown old 50s diner and dive bar decorated. So there wasn't much to them, you know what I mean? Whereas these are family apartments. Each apartment has 2 bedrooms, and I plan on decorating for having lots of kids here. So it's gonna take more, if that makes sense, to decorate all of this than it did for most of that downtown build. And I just felt like I could not keep it all in one video and keep it entertaining and not have it super boring. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So, yeah, so this is just the structure. I will say I do spend a lot of time in this video going through the floor plan of how to lay out the apartments, because the idea that I started with completely morphed and changed into a totally different idea by this point because I couldn't get the front stairs to work the way I wanted them to. So I had to completely rework the floor plan that I had in mind inside of the apartments as well. And now I'm kind of struggling decorating the living room because it's not exactly set up for a TV being the centerpiece of the living room. It's more set up for these front windows being the centerpiece of the living room, and that's fine for some of the apartments, but realistically, the TV is kind of the centerpiece for most people's living rooms, right? Like that's pretty normal, I think. Um, so the idea for the outside like footprint and stuff is that it's an old new or new old building. Like it was built maybe 20, 30 years ago, so it's not super old, but it's kind of getting there. You know what I mean? And someone came in and they re-sided it in a more modern siding style, and they added more modern windows, so you have the architectural shape of a building that would have been built in the late 90s, early 2000s, but then you have the wood paneling and mixed the dark wood paneling mixed with the white stucco of maybe, I don't know, slightly more updated house or apartment building siding, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the idea behind this build, a mixture of getting to be older or vintage, if you will, with a slightly more modern exterior update, kind of. I hope that made sense. So that's the idea. The front yard is basically just gardens, like garden beds. And then the backyard will have, by the end of the video, a little play area for children and toddlers and a garden area for the older Sims. I did put bamboo fencing in between those patios there so that they had some privacy, which we'll have to wait for the end of this little like mini series to find out if we can actually mark those as part of each of their apartments individually, or if the whole back deck patio area has to be shared space. I'm hoping because I put the bamboo fence down the center that the game will read each side of those deck patio areas as individual rooms. So it's like 4 individual rooms there, and I can assign those to their corresponding apartment, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of the plan when we get there. Did I mention that I plan on doing? Yeah, I think I said I plan on doing at least 2 more videos. I'm gonna try to squeeze 2 apartments in per video so that this whole mini series is only 3 videos long. I think that would be the best way to go about it. So look forward to about 2 more videos maybe. Also, I don't like speeding them up really super fast. I know that that can be hard on people who get migraines and who have eyesight issues and stuff. And so I prefer not to cram so much into each video and having to speed up the playback rate higher, if that makes sense. I'd prefer to have it a slower playback speed rate, and people be able to see, the whole point, I think, at least for me, for doing speed build videos is so that number one, I can share my creations with people, obviously, but number two, so that you can see how I'm doing things and you can get ideas for your own builds as well and kind of know how to do them. I always thought that that's what the point of speed builds and kind of build with me or real time build videos were supposed to be about. Otherwise, you would just show like an empty lot and then do like a tour of the finished build, and here's my build. This is what I made. Now go download it off the gallery, you know? Why show the details of what you're doing unless you want to be able to share how you did those things with people? That's kind of my thinking behind speed builds, I guess. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So I'm not gonna lie. This backyard took me forever to figure out because I prefer unlandscaped backyards for the most part. I prefer there to be a lot of open, empty space. You never know. Someday they might give us back the kids playing tag together or stuff like that. Can they do that in The Sims 4? You know, I'm realizing talking about this now that I don't know that much about the kids in The Sims 4 the way I did with other iterations of The Sims because I don't play with the kids that much anymore. Yeah, just sitting here doing this voiceover. And maybe I've realized it before, but I've forgotten since then. I probably have realized it before. Like, this is a reoccurring realization for me that I don't know much about the children in The Sims 4 and what they can and can't do because it's not that it feels limited per se. Yeah, I guess it is. It is kind of that they do feel limited to some extent. But I don't know. I don't know what they can and can't do. I always leave the options open though, and that's why I like having a big backyard for the kids to play in. I mean, this apartment building is very family centric. In the end, I don't know if it made it into the video or not, but in the next couple of videos you will definitely see that I even changed the name of the place to the family place because this is a very family centric apartment building. And so the whole idea is to be sort of based around families, you know? And so I like having unadorned backyards so that the kids can run around and play and all that kind of stuff. So the other thing about this build is that I think I might possibly add it to my save file potentially because I kind of like it in this neighborhood right here in Newcrest. And if you look to the side, there is that little starter home, like 40s, 50s style starter home. And then next to it is that it's a starter home, but it does have 2 bedrooms. So your Sims can have children in it. It can be a family house. But, anyways, the one next to it is that really adorable craftsman, I think, house that I built. Family house, and then there is the Home Chef Hustle Plaza by the like park playground area over there as well. This neighborhood is really starting to come together and I'm really really liking it this way. And so I think I might include this apartment building in the save file right here on this lot. Now technically I think that this side here might be the front of the lot. I'm not 100% sure. So this might look funny on the gallery, but I didn't want it facing the side. I wanted it facing the more main road. I just thought for an apartment building it made more sense for it to face the heavier trafficked road than to be on that little cut off side road where I feel like single family homes and not businesses and multi-family homes should be just due to traffic, I guess, was my thinking. And so that's why I faced it the way I did. I don't know what is the actual front of this lot though, so I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, I'm really liking the way this neighborhood is coming together. So I'm seriously thinking about adding all of these into the save file, all of these buildings. And this brings us pretty much to the end, I think, of the outside and the main structure and the floor plan of the Family Place apartment buildings. I will do a full video walkthrough of the whole place with the last video, but for now I'm just gonna do screenshots showing some parts off of because it's just the outside. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!